So thank you for being here. We are two companies like Novis Euphoria Software One and Porcelanosa that we came across each other 5 years ago with some issues and challenges ahead of us. The reason we are here is to tell you our little story of how we are solutioning the complexity of transformation or need of transformation of a customer like Porcelanosa that we will explain. Pedro Llorens will explain what they do in a minute. And the process of integration of data in terms of what is driven by the business and what is driven by the SAP vendors or IT-driven transformation. So the first thing I want we were talking about two main things. One is what we did so far. What so far has been done is IT-driven, business-driven transformation regarding the simplification of the fiscal structure of the company. And we are talking about also how we are planning the future of Porcelanosa IT regarding the S4 conversion, system simplification, and eventually a RISE move for the future. First of all, I want you to see and introduce you to Pedro Llorens, with the CIO at Porcelanosa Group. It basically includes a bunch of brands of construction materials. And please, Pedro, just tell us a little about that.
Porcelanosa Group is a Spanish company and have 50 years, was created 50 years ago. Last year, in 2023, was our 50th anniversary. We have expanded our portfolio of products and services to cover all the needs delivered from construction projects, home, commercials, hotels, stores, sanitary facilities, covering new constructions or renovations. During this time, we have created, from the main brand that is Porcelanosa, 8 companies or 8 firms, and each one is specialized in a different type of service and product, providing our customers with a comprehensive offer covering all the sectors and needs. Sorry about the video, because in the video we can watch all the products together. Only 1 minute to give some figures about Porcelanosa Group. Okay, we are based in a small city in Spain called Villarreal. Maybe if you are a football fan, you can know about the team we have in the Spanish league. Last year we celebrated our 50th anniversary. We are about 5,000 employees around the world. Sales last year was 1 billion. We are placed in 140 countries, and we have about 1,000 stores around the world. Also, we have 43 logistics centers owned by us around the world that, according to our measure standard in our sector, we have a capacity of 600,000 pallets, sorry. And about our renewal politic, last year we have about 12,000 square meters of solar panels, and this year we will finish with about 157,000 square meters of solar panels that will cover about the 25% of the energy that the groups use in a year. And this is what is Porcelanosa.
Thank you, Pedro. So today we want to give you very simple ideas. As shown in this slide here, the challenge from Porcelanosa and Pedro himself was to confront the fact of transforming the company in terms of what was coming from the business, in terms of simplification of the fiscal structure of the company. And at the same time, or not, or after or before, transforming everything that is IT-driven in terms of releases of SAP, changes of strategy from the on-prem to the cloud. And from the 2021, this is the moment we started to work with. I remember a call from Pere Llorens. The business had requested him to merge SAP companies within the same SAP system, and well, I think they tried to do it with somehow, but it didn't happen. It's like if you need machines and software to do things. So we started with this first project, and please tell us a little about how came this strategy, all these needs from the business in this case.
Okay, after the pandemic, okay, we in our business plans we plan a significant reduction of the number of financial companies. So we wanted to simplify our structure, reduce non-value processes between the companies. At the end, the owners are the same, and also improve our operational efficiency. It was essential to do this to be as transparent as possible for the business and to involve as little downtime as possible in operation. That was not easy. We achieved both objectives, and we didn't have any stop in production, and we didn't close any store during all this merge during these 3 years.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, these guys do they manufacture stuff. They have a very complex warehouse management, and they have also very complex logistics. So, and they act globally. So the discussion about the downtime and when to store the system to do this were long, tough, sometimes angry faces around. But at the end, for me, it was very emotional, because the first time we met and explained about these things, the face of Pere was like, wow, I mean, it sounds like magic. I don't know, but maybe, I mean, I convinced him that we were truly saying the truth. And I remember the first day we went live in the Easter of 2021, the call from him saying, Javi, it worked. Like, I mean, we were working for 6 months, and he was still surprised that it worked. So it's this kind of an emotional path of new customers doing transformation. It sounds like magic, but it works, and it's real, like that. The fact that they are manufacturing, warehousing, and complexity in terms of logistics is a very, very high challenge in terms of downtime and being precise in the transformation roles for that. So we basically, how many company codes we merged in the whole process?
We reduced about more than 30 company codes in the SAP system. And the first time I didn't know anything about SMP or Crystal Bridge. Javi told me, and what I understood by his words is the thing is it's similar. He's trying to sell me what is called a rainbow unicorn or something like that, because I thought it was impossible what he was selling to me. But at the end, it was true. And really, for the company, these three years maybe has been the most exits, the best project, the best IT projects has been this for the company. Yeah. And really, it's a technical project. It's not something that can be seen, like a new store or something like that. But for us, was the best projects in IT during the last 3 years. And after, what is next? Of course, we are working with SAP to move to S4. We are working to move to RISE, all in one movement. But now we don't have any doubt. We have the tool and we have the team. So that is clear. The only thing is when, and it will be next year, sure.
Move on to that, yeah. So one of the key points about combining the business-driven things and the IT-driven things from SAP is, okay, well, by the way, it was such a satisfying project, the first one, and he repeated twice. So, I mean, it became kind of a junkie of SAP. Well, in the first project was we merged when a big, huge company was in Venice, one company code. The second project in 2 different phases, we just dropped the number of company codes in France and UK
And Spain.
from N to 1, and Spain.
It was three countries. Yeah.
3 countries, and in the last one, we merged kind of a 30-something or 18 company codes into one at the end. So the point is, when we started discussing about S4, RISE, Cloud Move, or whatever, we used the Crystal Bridge again to calculate the impact of that. So we it became very clear that there was no room for any IT-driven transformation to S4 or to the cloud before ending up the fiscal structure simplification process. Why? Because basically, this is more or less the look, the messy look of Porcelanosa on ACC before any calculations. This is what we try to move to the S4 only. And these are the main facts of why to move after the fiscal simplification is we are reducing a lot of company codes. We are reducing plans. We are reducing sales organizations. Purchasing is just one, so we don't need to do anything with that. We are deleting the templates. We are deleting the non-use data. So at the end, and this is part of the process of calculating the impact to move to S4 and to cloud and to RISE eventually, is a process of IDR, what I will mention later, which is inspect, diagnose, and recommend. Our recommendation was do not do anything about S4 or RISE before we close all the simplification of the structure, because now, if we see coming from a 2 terabyte system, it's not a huge one, but on RISE in the cloud, it's not about the size of it, it's how you can drop the t-shirt size from L to M to S or X to XS at the end. We look for this reduction of sizing, which directly impacting the business case of the money that SAP is grabbing from us. So this is a very simple exercise, and we do that with the Crystal Bridge. It's kind of a 24 hours after a Crystal Bridge scan, we can drop you the number with some scenario like this one. We might have less than half of the system if we just get rid of the company codes that are not anymore used, whether they were sold, merged, or whatever, okay? But if we go further, go beyond, and not only get rid of the unused company codes or unused organizational data, and then put a cardon date, we might drop the 2 terabyte system to a 600 or nearly around this half a terabyte for that. Well, for you those that are more or less familiar with the RISE quotations and SAP movements and pressure with that, dropping from 2 to half a terabyte is a huge amount of money yearly. No, the ACV changes dramatically from that to that. So normally, the conversion project in a selective mode is normally paid out, but by the decrease of ACV that SAP is bringing, okay, for that. So that's a very easy calculation. Why the strategy was to go with the simplification and then start talking about the S4 conversion and RISE move for that. The good thing about Crystal Bridge is that we don't need to convince anyone. We just show data, numbers, facts for that. So if the drop of the numbers weren't that way, that's also good, because we know we won't have any decrease on that. But
at the end, you are a believer.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, those are the data. The decision is on them. So, well, actually, the great thing about this is although we are consultants, we don't need to advise much the customer, because the customer sees the data by himself. So it's very easy for that, no? And they get the quotation from SAP, so it's very, very, very easy to decide that. Okay. Okay. A little bit about this process that we are currently in, and we are currently in with more customers in Spain engaged, is, well, the typical question since, I don't know, 5-6 years is, I must go to S4, I'm forced to go to RISE eventually, I don't know, or whatever, but what should I do? Should I greenfield, should I brownfield, should I bluefield, should I whatever? Our experience here is, well, by the way, we do only bluefield approaches. We don't greenfield, we don't brownfield things. So if it's a brownfield, well, in Spain there are 90-something SAP partners able to do greenfield or brownfield. When we created the company 5 years ago, we basically, This is the Latin America public. They are very. Yeah. So at the end, it's a big question. Our experience in that is that at the end, no project is single colored. There's a main blue column, though that if it's a very size reduction or in the system or transformation needed for that. And I remember from last year, a couple of years ago, that was right here talking about another project, which was an 8-in-1 project coming from ESP0, non-Unicode, to an S4 system in 9 months. And that's the more important thing, it's not only about reducing time and reducing go lives and reducing size of the target system, it's also that in this Bluefield approach where we extract and upload data, in the middle we can transform that. So the option for Perry now is evaluating in this IDR thing, what we call the answer of the question to which color is mine is the IDR, inspection, diagnosis, and recommendation. This is our own acronym for assessment. Just a tip here, we changed the name because we've seen assessments for 5K just shouting out the readiness check from SAP, and we've seen assessment of 500,000 just analyzing every and each process of the customer. But we are concentrating on this IDR is, first of all, we just talk after we use the phonendoscope. So phonendoscope is crystal bridge, is knowing what is in the system, and we have this IDR composed by these 11 components. It's 11 plus 1. The most important one is the plus 1, which is the one we don't do. And the one we don't do is the functional part. So we are not the one telling Perry if the cash management in S4 is better or not, or the warehouse management extended one is better in S4 or not, or he should be implementing transportation instead of logistic execution. Again, there are nearly 100 partners in Spain, plus SAP, telling that S4 is a paradise where you will live happier and better. Our task here is how to get him to that paradise with the less amount of money, time, and effort from internal team. Okay? And for that, we analyze the 11 rest of the domains. The consolidation, what about licensing, what about simplification, business partners, data cleansing, I mean, all that stuff. With this, we just grab, which is the minimum viable project to move yourself to S4, okay? And then you can, I mean, some people call that innovation ready or whatever, but at the end, it's a minimum viable project for that, okay? We have some customers as well that move in that way. So we move as we are, and then we start implementing things. That's another reason. You don't overcomplicate the process like that, okay? So basically what we do is, here we calculate four main tips, catalyzers for the S4 move or for the RISE move. The first one, and the most important one, is the crystal bridge, which is the one telling us if we can drop the ACV from the SAP RISE. Most important one. Second one is the other topic about the SAP. How many users? How many full user equivalents?
That is the.
That's one of the points. So if we come to Perez's contract and try to convert his on-prem contract into the RISE contract, that is okay. There's some conversion tables, the calculation. But maybe Perez has contracts for 10 years or 15 years. Maybe there are old SAP application, business suite, whatever, so many companies. So what we approach is, okay, let's calculate with Eucaria, which is one of our own tools, is we see what you're doing today, your system. What should be your contract if we look at what you're doing today, not what you were doing 10 years ago or 20 years ago, okay? And this comes to a real fact that we can deliver in 28 hours. We can deliver with 2 simple scans, Crystal Bridge and Eucaria. We can deliver actually which size you may have in the RISE when you move, and what is the number of full user equivalents you may have. With those 3 KPIs, we are helping a lot of SAP customers and a lot of SAP account managers that live from selling RISE, by the way, to make that happen. And at the end, we're helping the customer to see, okay, if I see my business case is right, I sign. If my business case is not right, I don't sign. And I decided with facts, with data, and with users. We have another 2 small things that also somehow in the middle of the way to S4, or at least to RISE. One is the Chameleon. It's an own solution we've got that basically takes care of the fact that the content server is free of use in the on-prem world. When you move to the RISE world, everything costs a lot, and the content server itself, which by the way is contained in PDFs, essentially, cost, I don't know, 80K ACV, which is a very, very expensive external hard drive. So we are just using also these small solutions to avoid the oversizing the ACVs from SAP by taking out the pieces that are not adding any value to him and just implementing the small, tiny solutions that can drop that. And the third one, this honest thing, is that there are some customers, not the case, Wikipedia has very good control of this custom code they have, but some customers do have a big, huge application made on ABAP in the middle of the way to S4. So with this, let's see, ABAP parser in ABAP, what we give the customer the option to analyze the structure of that big, huge application in ABAP and decide if it's going to BTP, which part is staying in ABAP, which part is going to be re-platformed in another way. So now that we don't have any video, this is a small showcase of the house I would like to have sometime. I don't know. I suppose I need to sell a lot of S&P licenses to afford this. Well, by the way, just a personal thing. I made my own house some years ago. And I have one of the bathrooms in my home with the materials from Porcelanosa. I'm poor, and this is very luxury material, very top material for construction.
Also, okay. I have another question, okay? Because we are this year. Let's take a break in these things. You know, with SAP it's impossible to have a break in a year. So this year we are building the business case for all these projects. And we have two questions that we haven't explained here. We have a legacy system. Our system is from 2007, I think was, so imagine. And we have the business warehouse also from that date. So we are thinking what to do. It's impossible to get that to rise. It's not affordable economically. So I don't know if you have any solution.
Yeah, well, this actually is part of this IDR, the recommendations we give at the end. It's not only about how to cut data on the ACC or just calculate the accurate number of full user equivalents. It's also looking at the surroundings of the ACC system. And in this case, there are two issues, very common, where, okay, we do the selective transition to S4, eventually to RISE. But what should I do with my legacy right after the go live with that? Okay, I need to keep that for 10 years, 5 years, just to compliance issues. I need to put it in read-only. But there's some point of time I need to upgrade that system only based on cybersecurity things. So there's a point of time I need to do something. And now becomes these end-to-end solutions from S&P. We've been talking about these days. One of them is, okay, the data fridge. What do I do with it? I don't need that SAP system being an SAP. I just need the data to be consulted, even with a simulated SAP GUI or even directly from my S4 system incorporating that. And data fridge is this solution that, for less price than maintaining a real SAP system, give you access to all this data without any risk in terms of cyber and anything. So you take your system, you transform it, not SAP, put it on the cloud, and then you can consult all data, historical data there from there. So that's one point. What to do with the legacy one? Okay, we have the solution for that. I think it's one of the nicest solutions at the end, because you can consult externally or internally all the data. So the users will ask, this is the first question they do, hey, where do I work now? So we consult that.
In my company, it's very common to save everything. So if we have 17 years of SAP, they want the data. 17 years and for the next 30 years. Yeah. And that is impossible, as you know, to pay it in a legacy system. So if we can maintain the data that somewhere, and it's easy to make a consulting, maybe once a year, but we need it.
Exactly. Part of the IDR that we're driving now is, okay, what do we do with other systems, like, for example, a huge, obese BW system we've got? If you grab this BW system and put it on the RISE quotation, the BW is crossed.
No, we can pay all the damn.
No, exactly. I mean, that doesn't work. So here comes the other one, which is the glue one. So we can grab all this data, put it on on the cloud and get rid of this, from my point of view, old-fashioned reporting systems, like there's this warehousing of data with pre-calculations that we can grab that and put it in the cloud again and avoid having a very large space-consuming system for that. And the third part is, although that's not a problem of Pere, and may not be the case, what if my growing rate is high after I drop from 2 terabyte to half a terabyte, but what after 2 or 3 years, maybe I became so obese that I need to do a carve-out again for that, and then come this outboard solution from SAP as well that we can implement and activate so that we flatten the rate of increase of sizing of the future system in S4 beyond the data temperature structure of HANA or whatever for that. So, at the end, and we have 3 minutes left, as an abstract in a way. So we just came across each other by chance and with a complex and new for Porcelanosa request about reducing complexity of the physical structure of the company. After the first project, they saw that it worked. We repeated twice again, and now we are thinking of the best way to move to S4, to RISE, is by catalyzing the process through selective data transition on one way and applying different modules, different solutions from SAP like Data Fridge to get rid of the data of the legacy and the glue for getting rid of the BW inside the SAP quotation from RISE for that. So that's the main topic. And I mean, the plan is we rested this year. I mean, we were 3 years in a row.
It's not a real break, but because building the project is not easy. Yeah. And the idea is starting next year. And how many months do you give me?
David, 6.
6? Yeah, I need in 3, David, you know.
Okay.
No, the idea is true. It's true. It's next year to do all what we just explained.
Yeah. So maybe, I don't know, we are very close, but hopefully we can come next year or the other one and tell you the whole story at the end, like business-driven, IT-driven, IDR, and S4 conversion selectively to the RISE smooth, the way we do things with data and information instead of opinions about things. So, thank you, Pere, for being here.
Thank you.
And thank you, Javi. One topic, any questions or in private, we will be around here for 10-15 minutes. Yeah, we need to run and rush to the airports back, but we will be here for 10-15 minutes. Yeah, if anyone has any questions or inquiries, or for him, for me, or for whoever.
We'll be available.
Thank you.
Over there. Thanks. Bye.